So the Saints want to go to the Super Bowl. Nah, I'm just playing with y'all. Welcome to the Black and Gold Hour show. It's your host, Merva. This is a show where we talk about your New Orleans Saints. And in today's episode, I want to talk about the Saints' 17-10 victory against the Cleveland Browns. Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael, the Saints were able to win in spite of them. And the New Orleans Saints are 6-9 and still in the playoff race in the NFC. Now they still gotta win their next 2 games and also hope that Tampa Bay loses 2 of their next 3 games. But the New Orleans Saints right now are 6-9. They toughed it out. It was a cold game, one of the coldest games in Cleveland Brown home game history. Man, it was one of those games where it was just running the football, good old running the football and defense. One of those games, if you're a traditional NFL football fan, man, it was one of those games that you loved. But man, oh man, the New Orleans Saints are clinging on to their last life, and they're 6-9 right now. We're gonna cover all of that in today's episode. Remember to like, subscribe. We want to grow the family. Happy holidays to everyone, man. I hope everyone is just spending time with their family, man, and most importantly, getting that rest that they need as they recalibrate their thoughts and kind of process this past year as they head into the new year, man. But let's get into it. It's a lot to talk about. Let's go.
You go against who that nation, you gotta bring your hard hat.
So getting into the game, man, we knew it was going to be a cold game. We knew it was going to be one of those games where the New Orleans Saints were going to have to rely on the run game, which is exactly what the New Orleans Saints fans wanted to hear, because our run game is led by Alvin Kamara, the best player on our team, and our second best player on our team, Taysom Hill. So that's something that we wanted to see. But in the first half, we really didn't see much of Taysom Hill at all, man. It's frustrating, man. It feels like the Saints, even when Sean Payton was here, it always seems like the Saints want to do things against the grain. We know what the New Orleans Saints do best, and that's running the ball with Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill, and they refused to do that in the first quarter. We saw no Taysom Hill under center for the New Orleans Saints, and it just seems like this would be the perfect game from him. He's from he's from Utah. He's from Idaho. He's played in the cold. He's built for this. This is the perfect game for Taysom Hill, and we did not see him until about 3 to 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And once we saw that, man, Taysom Hill was able to do his thing. He was running over them, and he was really making a difference for the New Orleans Saints. And for that reason alone, Taysom Hill gets the game ball, man. He gets the game ball from me as a Saints fan because he really rejuvenated the team and got the Saints in position to take over in the second half. Now, one player that I do want to talk about as we close up the first half is Alvin Taylor. That boy was doing his thing. He was a beast, man. I mean, the offensive line were doing their thing in the run game as well, but Alvin Taylor on the defensive side of the football, man, he was doing his thing. He definitely was showing up and showing out all game, and he definitely showed out in the second half. But we're going to cover all of that. But I just want to kind of to express the frustration that New Orleans Saints fans have when it comes to Pete Carmichael in the offensive play calling. It almost feels like Pete Carmichael is either trying to get himself fired or get Dennis Allen fired. It almost seems like self-sabotage at this point. And man, but the New Orleans Saints, once again, were able to win in spite of them. I don't know if someone called down to them and said, hey, use Taysom Hill. We even heard the broadcasters say, hey, maybe you should use Taysom Hill. And they finally listened, and Taysom Hill definitely showed up and showed out for the New Orleans Saints. So getting into the second half, this game is cold, man. I'm actually feeling bad for the fans that are there. It's a very slow game. They're all bundled up, man. And the Cleveland Browns and the New Orleans Saints are not doing much offensively. Deshaun Watson, we already know what he can do. We know what he's capable of. And I was like, every time he touched the ball, I was kind of like on edge, like, what is he going to do, man? But, man, we held him in check. The New Orleans Saints defense, even though being 23rd in rushing in the NFL, the New Orleans Saints defense definitely showed out. They definitely did their thing, man. And, man, we got to talk about it. I want to talk about something really quickly. In my quick recap, Paulson Adebo, man, like, it's been a rough season for him, man. And I know they started off with an injury, but Paulson Adebo has not looked like the player we saw last year. And man, I've heard other Saints fans say this, and I wasn't really quick to jump on the bandwagon. I never want to be a prisoner of the moment, but we gotta move Alvin Taylor to that other side of the football field when Marshawn Lattimore gets back, man. Paulson Adebo has not shown that he can be consistent, man. Even Bradley Roby has been making plays this season, but Paulson Adebo has not really stepped up this season. He's held it down for the most part, but the plays that he gives up are huge plays. And we got to start talking about it, Saints fans. I mean, I know he was one of our favorites last year, man, but you got to show consistency in this league, and he's definitely getting exposed, and maybe he'll bounce back this offseason, come back stronger, better, and a little bit more wiser on the football field. But right now, it's not showing up. It's not looking good for him right now. But other than that, man, New Orleans Saints going into the second half were able to continue what they did as they headed into halftime. Use Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara. They were able to wreak their havoc and have their way with the Cleveland Browns defense. Some of the third down play calling by Pete Carmichael was still horrible in the second half. I can't stand when you are 3rd and 4 or less and you do a halfback draw. I just don't understand that, man. You have Taysom Hill. You have Alvin Kamara. Give it to him up the gut. Don't do no halfback draws. I don't want to see none of that, man. We gotta cut that out, man. Just going forward, those are some of the worst play callings I've ever seen on third down. It almost seems incompetent or maybe self-sabotage, but despite all of that, the New Orleans Saints were able to get the victory. Taysom Hill was able to bring it home. Hey, Sorensen was able to catch that critical interception. The New Orleans Saints gave up an interception. Andy Dalton threw it, and it bounced off the hands of Jawan Johnson into the hands of a Cleveland Brown defender. And in the second half, the same thing happened to the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints were the benefactor, and Sorensen was able to take it down to the 30-yard line. And New Orleans Saints were able to bring it in with Taysom Hill. So the New Orleans Saints did get the victory 17-10. Like I said, y'all, it's a lot of things that we kind of got to hope and pray happens, man. But the New Orleans Saints have won 2 of the last 4 games that they needed to win. They have the Philadelphia Eagles on January 1st. I don't know what to tell y'all about that. But we also got to hope that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose tomorrow night and potentially lose one of the next 2 games for them as well. And that's very possible with the way the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady have looked. But man, it's been a quick recap. The game was really slow, man. It was not a lot going on, but we did see at least the New Orleans Saints coaches listen to somebody, because they finally brought Taysom Hill in, and for the first time all season they actually did what worked, man. But the New Orleans Saints are 6-9, man. They're still in the playoff race. Slim chance to get in, but there's still a chance, and you never know in this crazy NFL. But thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the holidays. Merv Speak segment is just to enjoy the holidays, and most importantly, get rest. Get that much needed rest, even if it's just watching TV, even if it's just eating some good food, even if it's just watching your favorite show, man. Get that rest, because 2023 is going to be a big year for all of us. It's going to be a year of purpose, dedication, and we're all going down the right path, man. So just remember, just take these next few days off. We don't do resolutions because the new year starts right now, and just prepare yourself for what 2023 has in store. But thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, be blessed. Who dat? Peace. We out.